Hopefully everyone is doing well. Today's target is to understand what is bank reconciliation statement. Actually, it's a new concept and we are discussing it so that we can understand the meaning of bank reconciliation statement, the format of bank reconciliation statement as what actually it is. We are using the word bank. It means there is something which is associated and related with the bank. We have already discussed banking transaction where we have done several journal entries directly or indirectly associated with the bank. Like we have done, if you have received a check received from whom you will receive your check, from your account receivable. If you have received any check from your account receivable, what you will do, you will say that we have received check. There is an increase in check which is your near asset, but we do not write check until and unless it is deposited into the bank. We will consider it as cash for the time being, and actually we have received that check. From whom you have received your check, the person is called account receivable ya debtor. Debtor was the person from whom amount was receivable. Now you have received your amount. He is no more your debtor. He is no more your account receivable. Debtors are asset. It means asset are decreasing. Decreasing asset should be credited. That is why you have credited your account receivable. So here we have done one journal entry. I am just letting you know what we are going to do in bank reconciliation statement. Then what we have done, check of debtor now deposited into the bank. Initially we have received a check from debtor, and what entry we have done, cash to account receivable, and now the same check has been deposited into the bank. That means the cash which we have received now have gone. Where it had gone? To the bank. When cash in shape of check is going out, it means there is decrease in cash. That check which we have considered as cash was a near asset. Since it is going out, asset is decreasing, decrease in asset should be credited, so we have credited this cash. And where it had gone? To the bank. It means there is an increase in bank is your asset, there is increase in asset should be debited, so we will debit bank and will credit cash. Now just consider it, we have direct or indirect association with the bank. Here we have just received the check, and you know that check whenever is not into the bank, it has no meaning. It means we will wait until unless it has been deposited into the bank. This is indirect relation with the bank, and this is direct relation with the bank. So these sort of entries we have done in banking transaction. Now, why I have written these two journal entries? For example, you have deposited check of worth rupees 1000 into your bank account, and you are very clear that your bank account has been increased. Listen again. You have deposited a check of rupees 1000 into your bank account. It is your pure and real assumption that whenever you will ask to your bank how much amount is present in your bank account, so you have a pure real assumption that answer of the bank manager would be that you do have 1000 rupees in your bank account. Why? Because you have deposited a check of rupees 1000. But next morning, when you have asked in real the same question to the bank manager, how much amount is present in your bank account, or today there are several other channels with which you can know the balance, and you had checked the balance through SMS, through mobile app, or direct call, or you have visited the bank branch, but bank manager is saying that your balance is, let's say he is saying your balance is 800 rupees. Now let me know whether this matter would be a matter of botheration or you will ignore it. What had happened? You have deposited a check of your debtor into your bank. It means your bank account should have been increased. and it should be 1000, but your bank manager is saying your balance is 1800 rupees instead of 1000. So obviously you will be worried about where your $200 or 200 pounds or 200 rupees have gone. So it's not an easy, it's not a comfortable position with which you are involved in. Now there is a question. There is a question from the customer. I have deposited a check of rupees 1000. It was supposed to be 1000, but you are telling me amount of 800. It means there is a disagreement of opinion between customer and the banker. What we are saying, disagreement between customer and banker. Here is the standing of our topic, disagreement between customer and the banker. Why banker is saying you have 800 rupees while according to your documents you have 1000 rupees. After this disagreement appeared between customer and banker, so there will be a logical fight, a logical war will be started. Customer will say, I have records, I have all the receipts, I have all the vouchers already present in my possession. He will present all of those records. At the same time, at first what will happen? Customer will present records, but at the same time banker will also say we have records. Banker will present records as well. Achha, when customer will present records, what he will show? The book upon which he had written, he had entered all the transaction related to bank. We all know that book is called cash book, और हमने ये कैश बुक बनाई भी है, और पिछले एक चैप्टर में हमने वी हैव सॉल्व्ड 8-9 क्वेश्चंस ऑफ कैश बुक. अब बात समझ में आ रही है कि आपको कस्टमर जो है वो ही विल ऑल्सो प्रेजेंट द रिकॉर्ड्स एंड विल प्रेजेंट कैश बुक वेयर ऑल द ट्रांजेक्शन रिलेटेड टू बैंक has been entered, has been recorded, or this could be the proof why he should have 1000 rupees in his bank account. On the same time, banker is also presenting his records and he is saying I have passbook and all the records related to you, related to customers, all the records are present in this passbook. So it means proofs, logics are present in the cash book. All the proofs and the records are also present in the passbook, but there is a disagreement between customer and banker. Suppose if there is any mistake in passbook, or if there is any mistake or maybe misunderstanding in the cash book, the matter will be sorted out when they will present their records. At first step, if customer is presenting its cash book and the banker is showing it passbook, both books will be compared with each other. Customer and banker will argue with each other. If mistake they have found, what they will do, they will correct that mistake or they will rectify that mistake, with which balance will be okay. Or after that reconciliation, after that meeting, there will be end of that war, there will be end of that argument, because balance is now all okay. At this stage, try to understand if after presentation of cash book and after presentation of passbook, if still they are not agreed, if still there is a disagreement between customer and banker, even after presentation of records, even after presentation of cash book records and passbook records, there is a disagreement even after presentation. So what will happen? Obviously, if two persons are not agreed upon one point and they are not accepting each other's logic, they are not accepting each other records. Suppose cash book holder, that means customer is saying your passbook is wrong, and passbook holder banker is saying no, your cash book is wrong, and they are not agreed upon one single point. Disagreement is over there. So what will happen? Now there will be another solution. A third party will be involved, and what that third party will do, instead of a position where both banker and customer are arguing with each other, customer has his own arguments, banker has his own arguments, and they are not on the same page, they are not on the same point. So what will happen, there will be a third party which will be involved. They will take cash book, they will take passbook, and now that third party, which is almost an expert of transaction related to the bank, he may not be the banker, he may not be the customer, he may be a third party who knows how to record the transactions related to the bank. Third party had come and he had asked the customer to present his cash book, he had asked the banker to present his passbook, and now checking of both books will be done by third party. He will see, obviously, now try to understand, customer is a human being. Even if he is not accepting any error, banker is also a human being and he is also not accepting the error, but there will be a chance of human error both in cash book and passbook. So third party will seek that error, will see that error, will examine that error and after looking the records of cash book and passbook, he will surely be having that error, will present that error to customer and banker will have to accept. And in this way, after checking out by third party, there will be a statement. Third party will make a statement where errors of cash book, errors of cash book, or at the same time errors of banker will be rectified. That means if there is any error in cash book, it would be rectified or it would be corrected. Simple word is more attractive, so I should write over here, errors of cash book will be corrected, and at the same time errors of passbook will also be corrected. In this way, a new balance will be arrived where both customer and banker will be agreed. New agreed balance will be there, upon which customer and banker will be agreed. Now this statement where errors of customer or cash book and errors of banker are examined and their errors are being corrected, either error of cash book or errors of banker are being corrected, such statement is basically bank reconciliation statement. So hopefully you people have understood what is concept of bank reconciliation. When customer and banker are both not on one single page, they have their disagreement, they are not agreed upon one point. Balance according to customer is different to the balance which is told by the banker. A third party will be arrived and he will see records of transaction present in cash book, records of transaction present in passbook. He will seek the errors present in cash book and passbook, will correct them, with which a new balance will be arrived, and this balance will be the balance where both customer and banker will be agreed. The whole process where a third party is generating a statement, this process of generation of statement is called बैंक रिकॉन्सिलेशन स्टेटमेंट. आप समझ गए होंगे होपफुली. अब अगला स्टेप क्या है, वी विल फॉलो द रूल्स. यहाँ पे हम रूल्स लिखते रहेंगे कि वो स्टेटमेंट बनाने के लिए किन रूल्स को यूज़ करता है और एरर्स कैसे करेक्ट हो जाते हैं. दीज थ्री फैक्टर्स आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. वो क्या करेगा, ही विल क्रिएट अ स्टेटमेंट. तो हाउ दैट स्टेटमेंट कैन बी क्रिएटेड. अब आप जो क्वेश्चन करेंगे, क्या आप कस्टमर के हिसाब से क्वेश्चन करेंगे? When you will solve this question of bank reconciliation statement, you will see that whether you are a banker or you are a customer. Now keep it in your mind, you are not the customer who is creating bank reconciliation statement. You are not the banker who is creating bank reconciliation. You are a third party. Third party will seek records of cash book. Third party will seek records of passbook. So he is not the customer. He is not the banker. He's a third party who may be the expert of accounts. So when you are doing questions of bank reconciliation statement, consider yourself as third party. So for third party, there are some rules which we are going to discuss. What these rules are actually, rules of bank reconciliation statement: only debit and credit. You may be surprised that all rules of accounting are associated with two words: one debit and second credit. In this rule we will decide whether that third party will be debiting some amount or crediting some amount. There is no third thing. First rule is associated with the balances. Why? Because the most important thing is the balance, and the reason is balance is the amount where disagreement would be started at very first step. वो तो बाद का मसला है ना कि where that error belongs, or where that error actually present in either the cash book or the passbook. But the first step is to see how balances are not agreed upon each other. रूल नंबर 1 हम फॉलो करेंगे, और इसमें आपको ये पता होना चाहिए, इफ़ बैलेंस एज पर cash book is written in your question. Balance as per cash book is written in your question. What you will do? Balance as per cash book is a favorable thing. It means cash in hand is present. Cash in hand is your asset, and asset in favorable position is always written on debit side. So what you will do? You will mark it as debit. First rule we have discussed: if there is balance and that balance is present in cash book, you will debit it. अच्छा, उसकी वजह भी आपको पता है कि कैश इन हैंड की हम जनरल एंट्री क्या करते हैं, आपको पता होना चाहिए। कैश और टू बैलेंस आपको याद होगा, इसकी हम जनरल एंट्री करते हैं। तो इस वजह से इसका जो डेबिट साइड हमने डिसाइड किया है वो क्यों, क्योंकि कैश डेबिट साइड पर होता है। ओके, अच्छा जी, नेक्स्ट रूल नंबर 2, if he is saying balance as per cash book but according to customer his balance should be overdrawn. क्या होता है ये भी आपको पहले से ही पता होना चाहिए। Let's say you have an amount 1000 rupees present in your bank account, but suddenly you are in need of 1200 rupees. What I have said, amount present in your bank account is 1000 rupees, but the customer is in need to have 1200 rupees. Obviously, if he will draw a check of rupees 1200, so that check will be bounced back, because amount present in the bank is less than that of check. If customer has a good relationship with the banker, he will request the bank manager to please provide 1200 instead of 1000, and he will make a promise to return this additional 200 which was not present in his bank account within a shorter period of time. So that 200 is just like a loan for the short term. This amount which is drawn from the bank account is over and above the actual balance. Have you understood? 1000 was the amount which was present in the bank account, but check has been drawn for 1200. 200 was not present in the bank account, so 200 is above and over the actual balance. And since customer has been facilitated and customer has been provided 200 additional amount, that 200 is a sort of loan. You may call it short-term loan, and within a day or 2 day or shorter period of time that 200 would be returned back. So it's a loan. Loan is liability, and liability side is always been considered as credit. So if there is overdrawn balance, what you will do? You will write it credit. Alright, now we will see our third rule. In third rule, you will see if balances are shown by the passbook. Balance as per passbook, and now you know that where that passbook is present, all records which are present in banker's side. A banker will put all of his record related to the customer in a book. That book is called passbook. So passbook is possessed by banker and cash book is possessed by customer. बैलेंस एज पर कैश बुक मीन जो कस्टमर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से बैलेंस है वो आपने इधर लिखना है, ओके। और दूसरी बात जो पासबुक होती है वो मैंने आपको क्या बताई है, दैट पासबुक इज पोजेस्ड बाय बैंकर. सो बैलेंस अकॉर्डिंग टू बैंकर वुड बी शोन इन पासबुक. अच्छा, आप दूसरी बात आप ये समझिए दो तरीके से आपने बात इसको समझनी है कि वट एवर इज़ फेवरेबल फॉर द कस्टमर इज़ अनफेवरेबल फॉर द बैंकर. इसको मैं किसी जगह पे लिखता हूँ, आप प्लीज़ इसको समझिए. अगर कोई चीज़ फेवरेबल है फॉर कस्टमर तो दैट वुड बी अनफेवरेबल फॉर बैंकर. क्या आपने पढ़ा है कि इफ़ देर इज़ एनी एलिमेंट विच इज़ फेवरेबल फॉर द कस्टमर, which is favorable for the customer, that would be unfavorable for the banker. How? When a customer has deposited some amount into the bank, it is favorable for the customer because his asset is increasing. At the same time, with the amount which is deposited into the bank is unfavorable for the banker in a sense that it had become a liability of the banker. Whenever some amount is deposited into the bank is responsible and liable for that amount. So if amount deposited is asset for the customer, that amount would be liability of the banker. Hopefully you have understood whatever is favorable for the customer is unfavorable for the banker. In the same time, just consider it, if cash balance is favorable, then the same balance when will appear in passbook will be unfavorable. It means if cash book balance is debit, then passbook balance would be credit. Okay, so third rule you have understood is what? Third rule is what? If balance is shown as per passbook, that balance would be credited. And in second way you can understand it, if amount is deposited into the bank, that means there is a balance. Banker will have also banker will also record this balance in his passbook. So that balance is favorable for the customer. At the same time, it is liability of the banker. That is why liability side is credit. So banker had shown this balance on the credit side, so it is liability of the banker. So these are three balances and one more balance you have. Any guess? You can tell me. Fourth is if balance is shown as per passbook but that balance is overdrawn, overdraft, one of the same thing. Overdrawn balance as per passbook. Now come to this point. If there is overdrawn balance as per cash book, that means customer had drawn additional or over and above the amount present in his bank account, which was a sort of loan, a sort of liability. So it would be favorable for the passbook. Why? There may be involvement of interest, there may be some sort of extra amount, or at least this amount is receivable from the customer. So banker will see the amount is receivable from the customer, or receivables are assets and position of asset is debit. Now these are four rules which is associated with the balance. Take your time, take 10-15 seconds, review these transactions, review these rules, और फिर हम नेक्स्ट स्टेप लेंगे. अच्छा, उस वक्त ये एंट्री की ज़रूरत नहीं है क्योंकि खूबसूरत नहीं लग रही, तो हम इसको यहाँ से उठाकर इधर लिख देते हैं. आप अगर चाहें तो वीडियो में बाद में इधर भी देख सकते हैं कैश टू बैलेंस. अब हमारे पास जो रूल्स हैं, हमने सिर्फ उन रूल्स को फॉलो करना है. वो चार रूल्स फर्स्ट 4 rules are related with the balance, और उसमें आपने 2 चीज़ें जो हैं कैश बुक से रिलेटेड हैं और 2 चीज़ें पासबुक से रिलेटेड हैं. एंड हाउ यू विल मेमोराइज देम. इफ़ कैश बुक बैलेंस इज डेबिट, just seek the magic, the balance as per passbook is just opposite, credit. If overdrawn according to cash book is credit, then overdrawn according to passbook would be debited. Hopefully you people have kept the way to memorize in your mind. Okay ji, next. Okay guys, what we have done, we have taken a brief introduction of bank reconciliation statement and we have started our rules. And first 4 rules of debit credit are associated with the balances. 4 rules we have discussed, and our next step is to see errors. And for that you can have part B of this lecture. This is part A has been completed and we will start part B.